right, you are tuned into The Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa Waters Lane. Lisa was actually born and raised here at the garden center. Her mother gave birth while unloading manure trucks and perennial flowers here at Waters Garden Center. Well, that's the way your mother tells it. Anyway,
no, that's not how my mother tells it.
So this segment's all about the questions, what's coming in, and Lisa brings what your neighbors are talking about, and so we can gain some insight from what other folks are seeing in their garden, and we can share that, and that's what this segment is all about. So, welcome into the studio, Lisa! Yay! And the crowd goes wild.
How much coffee have you had?
I'm on my fourth cup. Yeah, let's do this. Give me a soapbox to get on to.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so welcome back to the studio.
Thank you. Always good to be here. Have you enjoyed the rain this week?
I have, except for Wednesday, that great big storm that hit. Yeah. Lightning struck. I was looking out the window, the studio window. Oops, dropped a whole bunch of stuff.
Wow.
I'll pick that project up later. That's the problem with having your studio in your office. I was looking out the windows out here, and you could see the lightning strike a transformer and go kaboof. Oh. And the neighborhood, this 4-beam park out to Iron Springs Road, just went dark. And retailers and dark don't go together. So luckily the garden center is mainly open. It was raining. People jumped from greenhouse to greenhouse, but there's no power. People go, there's no power at the house. Why don't we go shop at Waters Garden Centers? This wave of people start coming in, and we've got no computers. We're trying to figure out how to make things happen. But luckily there's only, an hour and a half. The linemen, APS linemen, they are amazing. Just amazing.
Right,
I don't know how they do that. I cannot get up on a ladder, much less get up on a bucket truck and go deal with 20,000 volts, whatever they deal with. In the rain.
We don't want you doing that. They are highly trained individuals.
Deep respect. Yes. All linemen or line women, whoever they are, deep respect.
Yeah, I was off Wednesday, so I was at home enjoying the rain. And we didn't have any power outages there, but it was just nice. Just a nice slow rain. I kind of sat at the window.
It wasn't slow here. It was fast. It was exciting. I'm not afraid of lightning, so it struck, power went out. I should mosey over in the rain and go see how the computers are doing. My office across the street from the garden center. And so I walked over, and then another lightning strike hit like almost the greenhouse. And I went, I should hurry my pace. Let's move it. Let's move it. Get out of this.
Yeah, you want to dilly-dally in lightning.
Get struck. Killed his own business by lightning.
That'd be bad.
Anyway, enough about our rains, monsoon stories.
Of rains also bring a lot of the weeds and the seed that have been sitting there. So David isn't Dewey. He says he loves the rain, but now he has an abundance of weeds.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Wants to know what to spray with in amongst the landscape is where the weeds are, and how to prevent them in the future.
Sure. So that Dewey, any place that has a lot of wind, so Prescott Valley, Paulden, Chino Valley, all these valley areas, actually, we're in the mountains. We all have wind. What am I talking about? But it seems to gather. So they grow up on those fence lines, and then tumbleweeds will use each other to slope over and keep rolling over barbed wire fences. So you got to really be on this, because weeds just spread like crazy. And so weeds can get into even fabric. You put weed fabric down in rock, there's still dust and sediment that can settle there that weeds can still, it reduces the weeds, but it doesn't eliminate them altogether. Right. So here's what to do. There's really 3 weed things. So there's soil sterilizers. It kills everything. Nothing's going to grow here for a year. Rather dangerous, and it's very water soluble, so it tends to be lifted and moved across the landscape or down a dry wash. So you can easily kill your neighbor's tree down there, your own landscape. So it's really, you only use that in like pavers, down driveways, very strategically. It's very dangerous stuff. Then you get into the weed killers. That's probably what he's dealing with now, because weeds are coming up. So there you use Roundup is the #1 seller. We don't sell that here at Waters Garden Center because, well, quite frankly, I don't want you to get cancer, or me, or our customers. And Roundup, definitely, we are seeing some definite dangers with that. And so we just stopped selling that several years ago when we saw those studies. Now we have a product called Decimate.
Which sounds horrible.
It kills everything that lives.
It sounds worse.
Puppy dogs, weeds. No, it only goes after a non-selective weed killer. The beauty with Decimate is it works when the night times are cooler. You know, that rain hit and it got cold. I mean, it was chilled. You had to put a layer on. And so weeds shut down when you do that. They don't grow as fast when that happens. And so Decimate actually works when the nighttime temperature drops. So it works further in the seasons, works better, works longer. It works from the top down. So it kills the top first. You see immediate, just right away results. And then it kills the whole root. It doesn't really work very well on woody material. We're talking elms, oaks, suckers coming up, the big woody things, sumacs, horehound. Maybe I probably would work on horehound pretty well.
Okay.
So with the tree kind of things, there you're going to use a tree and shrub killer. There's actually brush killer. There's actually things that work on woody stuff. Like you've got a bunch of oak trees and the oaks keep coming up, or suckers from your Lombardy poplars keep coming up, or just trees start coming up. Elms are the worst, most invasive thing, is Chinese elms. That works on the woody stuff. Decimate works on everything else. Boy, I can go too deep on this. There's too much. Then you get into selective weed killers, just broadleafs, mainly using lawns. We have those. We've got an organic broadleaf weed killer. So if you got dogs and stuff, that is the way to go. It kills the dandelions, not the grass. So there's a little bit different caveat. Really, it comes down to just prevent the weeds, especially if you're in windy areas. So seed just come flying in from your neighbors. They roll in. They're just there. They're waiting for rain. So you ain't seen nothing yet out in Dewey or Paulden or wherever the rain hit. It's going to get bad fast. There you put weed and grass stopper down. There's actually it's like a fertilizer, but it doesn't feed the plants. It doesn't allow the seed to actually put a taproot down. So it keeps the seed they'll germinate, but they won't be allowed to establish themselves. And so it just prevents, and it works for like 6-8 months. You put it down, let the rain come, and it eliminates seed from actually coming up. It does not affect actual plants already there. So if you've got horehound already growing up in your yard, it's not going to affect that. It's just going to keep the seed from coming at you, which means you can use it around your roses. Doesn't affect roses. Only the weeds, the goat head, that one with the burr that comes up, and your dogs limp as they're going across the... Can
you use it in a lawn?
You can use it in a lawn, and it will keep... Because it doesn't affect grass. It only affects the seed, so you won't get your dandelions coming up. Now, I wouldn't use it right before I'm going to overseed or something, but we're not in overseed season right now, really. So yes, you can use it on lawn, especially around the edges where you've got more weeds kind of encroaching sometimes. Come see us for more, and we'll give you the insider scoop on all things weeds. Decimate is the way to go right now.
Okay. And how much time do we have left? Because I don't have my glasses on.
Okay. Try a minute.
All right. Well, Jenny is in Prescott. She wants to know, can she grow birch here? And if so, are there things that she should look out for, ins and outs of putting in birch?
Birch trees. So that's got to be a Midwest, East Coast kind of person. Birch actually grows amazingly well here in the mountains of Arizona, all elevations. I think it's even more robust than aspens. So they've proven themselves to be more hardy, deeper rooted, more drought hardy than an aspen, but it still has that same white bark, or they've got a paper bark birch, like it peels off.
I like that one.
It's stunning. Has a real wispy kind of leaf pattern to it. So it's great for patios, just screening west side walls that get too hot. It's a great one. The main thing with birch, it's like most trees, make sure that hole when you plant it drains. As long as that water perks, the water goes through the soil layers, you're golden. That tree's going to root deep and go after that water. And then water it right now, brand new plant, maybe a couple times a week, no more. A deep soak a couple times a week, a new plant, and then next year, once a week. It's more than enough for birch. Once it gets established, you can almost go farther than that. They're amazingly hardy, but great time to plant a birch and to encourage one to grow. And I don't know, they'll put on an extra 18 inches just this year by planting now.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're out of time. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Kenalisa Lane and the Mountain Gardeners. We'll be right back after these important messages.